Hello. Welcome to my PhD channel. My name is Asherah Rose. This channel really discusses and goes into, the reason why I've started this channel is to investigate the differences, if you like, between mental health, particularly psychosis, and DID, dissociative identity disorder, with or versus conscious expansion. And I just want to bring your attention to this video because I did a video yesterday on the 12th of March 2026. Today is Friday the 13th of March 2026. This video, sorry about my fingerprints. This video is kind of just touching on what I was saying yesterday, but this video was actually recorded yesterday. It was done a day ago, if you can see. Yeah, and the title is People Feel You Are Not of This World. The one in power want access to you so they can live forever. And she's called Divine Feminine, and it's got 8.7 views so far. It was done a day ago. All right, so listen to this.
A healer. You don't just heal people in this lifetime, you heal them through other realities and dimensions. There is only one of you that exists at all. With other people, they may have other versions of themselves in different dimensions, but with you, it's hard to explain what you are. I feel like most people don't even know, or there's no way to classify it with the English words, but you are something that is extremely powerful to the point where it could change death. With you, immortality is possible. Something in your blood or in your DNA or something within your pineal gland has the ability to shift creation. With Ouroboros, this is all about creation, life, death, cycles. And the reptilians seem to be after you because remember, reptilians gene spliced with the human race thousands of years ago to kind of like infiltrate royal bloodlines.
Which is the story. When I talked yesterday about being part of the AEO, which is the Egyptian Ancient Order, and I talked about a man called Dr. Malachi York that I came into awareness when I was about 17 years of age, and he talked about the reptilians. He talked about the mothership crashing into Nibiru, which is what Earth was called back then, and the Anunnakis having to replenish back the planet. Yeah, after that happened, but on the planet there was already reptilians living here, so the Anunnaki scientifically mixed the blood with the reptilian species too, but it goes so deep. So the fact that she's talking about the reptilians, that's what that highlights to me, that understanding of what Dr. Malachi York. So there's another author called David Icke, and he's got a book. He's got two. It's called The Biggest Secrets, and then he's got Children of the Matrix. In the Children of the Matrix, he's talking about the Queen, the British royal family being reptilians, and him being an eyewitness of watching them shapeshift from human into reptilian forms, and then devouring a number of children in front of him. Yeah, which when you go down what they call the conspiracy theories, it talks a lot about these high-powered people, or whoever they may be, ritualistic, satanic, worshipping people, sacrificing children, drinking the blood, which we know as adrenodone. Is it adrenodone or adrenadine? Which is kind of like a chemical that the body releases when it's scared, and they put the fear of God in these children, and they scare them over hours and hours, scaring them, torturing them, essaying them, all different things, so that the blood is really rich with this chemical before they go in for the kill, basically. And that's kind of what these David Icke in particular talks about, as well as other authors too. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting when she brought in the reptilian.
And they still cannot figure out immortality, but for some reason with you have the key. You also have the intellectual properties that other people are.
That rings a bell to me too, when she says that you have the key. One of the tattoo markings on my fingers that my ancestors did back in 2023, they drew them out through me. They drew them out, and then they told me to get these things done. And one of the symbols is a key. Yeah, a key. But not only that, in 2022, they told me that I was the key. So there's not a physical key, like I am the key. Yeah, so key is very, very significant to me.
Equipped with, You have ancient knowledge that you can't just go to a library or go to ancient scrolls in the Vatican and find this type of knowledge. You can only...
Which is key, because I talked about things in yesterday's video also about, and also I did a video today about tapping into my Akashic records. And because I'm able to tap into my Akashic records and tap into the Akashic records of others, I get access to information that is so fucking, it's so mad. It's fucking mad. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, it is deemed what would be termed as mental health. Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, it 100% comes across as crazy, but at the same time, I know it's part of a reality. You know, just this is a fake reality. What I'm in right now, this 3D to me is a fake reality. I feel like an actor, and that's how I live my day. Like I'm an actor. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is. This reality is no different from a dream state reality. Like, what makes one a reality and what not a reality? You know, they say, oh, well, in this reality you can die, but do you really die? Because again, my ancestors are here with me. They don't seem dead to me. They seem very much in the, you know, in the physical. And if you ask my kids and different people that are, as in these 5 fuck niggas, and even the person I was married to prior to that for, you know, nearly 20 years, they tell you that there's been weird things that have happened to them when they've been around me, like physically, you know. So to me, my ancestors can be physical just as much as they are spiritual, just as much as they are mental, you know, in my experience. And then, like, on that image there where it's talking about the books, and it says intellectual, it says philosopher, scientist, mathematician, and inventor. Now, spiritually, I tap into a lot of energies. When I went to Peru in January, one of the things that one of the ladies on the course had says to me is that, how do you know so much about everything? Like, it doesn't matter who you've spoken on this retreat to Peru, an ayahuasca retreat for shamans, because I was on a shamanic training course. And yeah, how are you able to obtain that level of information too? And it's all spiritual, but as much as it's spiritual, a lot of it is already within me. It's like I know it because I already learned it. You know what I mean? Like, and then I know it because I've also learned what I've learned on this planet. Like, I absorb information. I love to learn. I love to study. I love to learn about new things. I love to talk to people, learn about people, learn about things. Like there isn't. It's like sometimes I'm walking or sometimes I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I'm like, fucking hell, man, I wish I had another, I don't know, like another 50 years on top of what I've already got left. And I wish that I could, like, study neuroscience. I wish that I could study forensic science. I would love to study forensic accountancy. Like, these are all big topics that take a while to get into, but I can get downloads and I can research little snippets. But that's kind of where my mind goes. Like, it's so thirsty for knowledge that sometimes I think, fucking hell, there's not enough time in this lifetime for me to learn all the things that I would love to learn. You know what I mean? And I sit here sometimes disgruntled, like, fucking hell. You know what I mean? I wish. Do you know what I mean? Even though I cram so much learning into it, like every day, I learn something. Every day I do something and I learn something, whether that's something about myself, whether that's something about spirit, whether that's something about the divine, whether that's something about Passa and somebody else. But I'm always learning. Different topics. And that's kind of what that card represented
Get
to
it
me.
through downloads. And because of your abilities, people feel like you're between worlds. You're in earth, but not of the earth. And that you kind of glide through the spiritual world and the physical world, and you bring things with it. You bring gems with it. People also feel like you might be a time traveler or a quantum jumper, or that your ancestors are from the cosmos. They feel like your ancestors are not in the flesh.
See, that's crazy because I literally just done a video before this one talking about what I think is going on is that I have the ability to quantum leap, and I'm constantly quantum leaping between different realms. You know what I mean? And that is something I genuinely believe. Even before she said what she said, that's what's going on. I'm quantum leaping consciously, and it can be 100% like a head fuck, and it can be terrifying, but at the same time, it's also quite beautiful. but I didn't know that's what was going on. So when I ended up getting sectioned in 2024, it was because I was just jumping, and every time I jumped, it was like I was on an alternative reality where my children were still my children, but they were in different roles or different energies. So there's a timeline jump, and they're in dark demonic energy, and they're bossing my blood clot backside. There's about 3 different alternative realities where that's the case. But on one reality, it's my older son going on with things. On another reality, it's my second son going on with things. On another reality, it's my second son and my daughter together going on with... Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's like this, I'm jumping through all of these realities. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, even when there is a reality, I don't even know that is actually a reality. I'm gone. Every single fucking reality seems real. Physically real, spiritually real, mentally real. I don't know what timeline I'm on. Because even when I'm talking to my children in a timeline that I would consider to be the 3D reality, it's not the 3D reality, and my kids are going on completely different. I generally could not tell the difference between the alternative realities that I was jumping through. And it was going on for days. And I wasn't eating, and you could just see the weight dropping off me. I couldn't see the weight at the time, but when I got to the hospital and I seen myself, I was like, fucking hell. I'm practically on death still. But when I'm in the spiritual energy, I don't eat. I don't eat and I don't drink because, and that's the thing about Asherah, my higher self being within me. I don't feel the need to eat, and I don't feel the need to indulge in those type of things, but I have to remember that I'm in a 3D body. So I've got to do certain things. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely quantum leaping, man. Quantum leaping. And just being aware of how people are moving on in those different realities. And then even when you're in the reality, you're still getting downloads about other realities and other things too. It was overwhelming. It was overwhelming because some of those realities, there were universes where it weren't anything to do with humans. It was straight up entities. And there was realities where other people was in the room that are alive today that I know, and but they've exposed themselves to me too. They've exposed themselves to me, and every single one of them that I seen, I phoned from the madhouse. You know what I mean? And the conversation that I had with them was like a general conversation. I told them where I was, don't get me wrong, obviously. You know what I mean? But I never had the spiritual conversation. I did not tell them about what I had experienced spiritually with them. I was just phoning them like to say, and these are big people, you know, like these are older people than me. Majority, at least one, two, three, four. At least 4 of them are, at least 4 or 5 of them are big. 5, 6. Yeah, they're big people to me. Yeah, and there's a few of them. As well as there's some people my age or whatever, but these are big people to me in my community. And they are recognized as upstanding people within the community. So they hold jobs. So for example, one of them held 3 major jobs in my area. And that was the vice person in command to the police commissioners. So this person runs the police. They were Lord Mayor and they're a councillor. So I'm not talking like, these aren't silly position people. These are proper position. One of them is a reverend, as well as whatever. If I say, I don't want to give too much of who they are away, but these are upstanding people. When I'm saying that the outward them is upstanding people, but what I now understand of them, that is not it. It's different things that they're on. But I knew that they were on different things, so I was getting the download in the 3D. Plus, people were coming to me and affirming it. People were coming to me and making me know things. Over the years, I've come to know. But what I know, unless Spirit tells me to give you a message directly, I don't chat. I will still sit down and smile with you, knowing what I know. Because this is an act. I'm looking at you through spiritual eyes. I know what you did in the past life, and I know what you're doing in this life. And I know what I know, and I've been shown what I've been shown, but I haven't been given no message to give to you. So we're just gonna roll out the same way and go for tea and have cake like it's nothing, because it isn't nothing. I'm not emotional like that. I can know what you're up to. I can know that your mission is to kill me, and I'll still sit down and have tea with you if that's what the Almighty wants me to do. It's fine. I'm not emotional about it. 7 years I sat down at Christmas at my nan and granddad's house opposite my mum and them, and I never chat to them. It's not a problem, blood. Not a problem. If I'm supposed to chat to you, me and you will chat, and if me and you ain't supposed to chat, me and you won't chat, even when you're abusing me. If the Almighty tells me to stay put, that's what's going down, and I'll put up with your abuse. And you'll think I'm a dickhead, but I'm definitely not a dickhead. You'll think I don't know what you're doing, but I definitely do know what you're doing. But it's not for me to chat. So when I make a switch, when the Almighty tells me, right, it's time to make a switch, and I drop a 180, everybody's looking like, what the fuck? But they're looking at it, what the fuck, because my acting skills are so good. They thought I was in it to win it. But now I'm in the game too. This is the Matrix. It's a stimulation. It's a stimulation. But like I said, I signed the contract to say I'm going to do the job that I'm going to do when I'm here on Earth. So let's get it cracking. Whatever it is, I'm down for it. I don't mind a cracking. In fact, you know what? Don't wake me out of my bed unless there's a cracking. See what I'm saying? Yeah, because I'm good now. I'm good. I get it now. It's not being done to me. It's being done for me. And every lesson, no matter how big it comes, and trust me, they come in big like waves. You know, sometimes some of these missions take my breath away. I'm like, do you know what I mean? And some of them I've not wanted to do, man. I've got on my belly and cried like a fucking caterpillar, telling Most High, nah, man, there's no way, man. There must be another way. There must be another way. No, it's this way. My rati cup. And then there's been times when I've just banged on my Tibetan bowl. Yo, you don't even have to tell me what the challenge is, Mosai. From your sending me on a mission, consider it done. You don't even have to tell me. You can let me know when we get there. And then that's how it started to happen. I need you to jump on a plane. I packed my bags, last year, October. I was supposed to be going to Lagos. Got to the airport, I wasn't allowed to get into Lagos. Spirit had already said to me that if you get there and they don't let you go, your bags are packed. And if you get there and you go, you go. So it was one of them ones anyway. So when I got there, they didn't let me on the plane. But Spirit had already told me what to do in the event of that happening. So I already had like a pre-booked idea of what time I was going to leave the airport, what I was going to do at the airport, how I was going to get a hotel near the embassy to try and get my legal documents, to sort out my visa and everything to get into Lagos. Got to the visa place the next day, everything went well. Literally got through the visa thing. Then I needed to get in contact with these companies to do a letter of recommendation, had all of that, paid this, paid that, and then got ready now to give the man the money, and Spirit was like, we ain't going. I was like, we just, the flight and everything is booked for Lagos, you know, like money's been spent. That's not the issue though, is it? Yeah. The mission was to get to that point, and I got to the point, ready to hand it over. My visa would have been ready in 24 hours, or 48 the latest, and I would have been on a plane to Lagos. And I still would have been ready for the events that I'd pre-booked already from the UK. But Spirit told me to book the flight, and then a few days after me booking the flight, I went online and looked, you need a visa, and it takes at least 10 days to get the visa, and I was flying in about 4 days. Yeah, so I had to go to the embassy, but like I said, all of that, and then Spirit still said, you're not going. So I went back to the hotel, didn't I? You know, and I was supposed to be checking out the next morning, and Spirit said, we're going to check out the next morning. We're going to go somewhere. And it must have been about 9, 10 o'clock at night. They told me where I go on, and it got booked. And the next morning we was out of there on a plane heading to Bali. So that's what it's like for me. That I don't know what's going on. I don't even know like the hotel. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might book a hotel for 3 days, but I don't know what's happening after the 3 days. You know what I'm saying? And then when I get there, because there's opposing energies fighting against me and trying to stop me every step I go, my bank cards don't work. I can't even access my money when I get out there. Spirit's like, don't worry. Pre-book it on booking.com and say you'll pay when you get to the hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's little downloads like that. They keep coming in, but it's little breadcrumbs. Get in a taxi. When you get in the taxi, that's when you're making the taxi. They told me to book a taxi. They told me to book a taxi and put down 2 places. And it was just random things that they told me to write down on a piece of paper. You see when the taxi come now? Because there was spies, like men in black at the hotel. Like, I know when there's Freemasonry energy and all that around, like, I can just tell, like, it's like a radar. There's one. Like, they think that they're doing a good job to hide, but they're not. You know what I mean? But I play dumb, like, I don't see them. You know what I mean? Because I just act like I'm a human on earth. Because that's what it is, isn't it? So when the taxi's coming, there's a guy there trying to listen in on where I'm going, and the taxi man's questioning me. I'm getting an attitude with the taxi man because I don't like the fact that you're questioning me and you're talking to the fucking guy who I clapped from yesterday is a fucking demon. Why is the guy even talking to my taxi driver anyway? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, if you look at it from a 3D perspective, why is the guy talking to the taxi driver? You called an Uber, a random guy's pulled up and he's talking to my guy. Behave yourself. So little things like that. But like I said, I know that my man's a spy and he's asking him where I'm going. But my man don't know, the taxi driver don't know where we're going. Because I ain't given him the message yet. You know what I'm saying? Because my ancestors have already told me, you don't say where you're going until you get in the car. You know what I'm saying? So then my man's on about, what area is it that you're going? And I said, Volta. And he said, okay, so how are you getting back? I said, you in it? He said, no, I can't bring you back. I said, what do you mean you can't bring me back? So he looked at the other man like to say, don't you understand? So I've looked at him like to say, what you getting the other man involved for? Get in the car. We'll talk about it in the car, and whatever it is, it will get sorted out. So he's got in the car and I've got in the car. And I've then, because my man's gone back inside the hotel, I've asked him to explain himself. And basically he's saying to me that we're driving 5 hours away from where we are. And where I'm asking him to take me, which I don't have a fucking clue, but this is where my ancestors are telling us that we're going, a place called Volta. So he's saying to me, this is 5 hours away. I didn't even clock that it's 5 hours away. And when you get down there, you don't run like Accra. Accra is like the city. Uber and them things, Wi-Fi, no problem. But when you're going into the jungle, the sticks of Africa, it don't run like that. Yeah, people have got Wi-Fi, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. All of the old women on the market store, they got their mobile phone and it's tap. They got one pay system out there. You just tap your phone and the payment goes through. So whether you're buying fucking mangoes, green bananas, whatever, a mobile phone chip, because all them things run on the roadside. Don't get it. You can get anything you want in Africa, in Ghana anyway, in Accra. And the Wi-Fi is down there, but the taxi service don't run like Uber down there. Uber is Uber. It's obviously owned by the Uber company because you got Uber and you got Bolt there, and it runs exactly the way that our system runs. But their wiring system of their car services only goes so many miles out. So if you're gonna take his car and go out of the Uber zone, you're in a contract with him now. You're not in a contract with Uber. So he's saying that when he gets down there, he needs his petrol to come back up. So I'm saying, why am I paying for your petrol to come back up? Because differently, if you pay for a taxi, you pay for your journey, and then my man finds his own way. Because usually he's going to take up a job near to where he is. But that's not how this thing works, because 5 hours is 5 hours at the end of the day, isn't it? And you're going down in the sticks. So it's not 5 hours of simple driving on motorway, surface road. It's hill and gully. You know, so he's saying to me, all right, then differently, if I come down there with you, because I ain't going to be able to get back. Yeah. And I don't even know where the fuck I'm going, never mind get back. So he's saying that he can come down there, but I would need to pay like his overnight. I don't have to pay for a hotel or nothing like that because he don't mind sleeping in the car. But we'll just work out how, because I said I don't even know how many days I'm going to be down there, because I don't. Spirit's got me on a mission and I don't know what the mission is. I just do what the fuck I'm told at the time when I'm being told. But this is reality, and because this is what happened in last year in February, when I went to Ghana. So anyway, so and so he's on about that. So I said, oh, that's fine then. If you're willing to sleep in your car and you're willing to be down there as many days as I need to be down there, then brilliant. Let's go. Because my ancestors already told me that they don't worry about the driver. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about the driver. Don't worry about nothing. When you order the car, they know what's happening. They know that that guy is going to be picking up the signal from my app, and he's the guy that's going to come. And the reason why he's the guy is because they know who he is. And I tell you why I know that, and I can tell you 100 reasons why I know that. But as soon as I got in the car, you know, because I've had this little attitude with him, because I don't know why he's chatting to the man and what you're talking about, pay for petrol to come back, and you know, because I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm thinking, is this nigga trying to hustle me? Because I'm not the one. I'll put you back in your shit, man, about you're hustling me. You're not gonna hustle me. If anything, I'm gonna hustle you. You know what I mean? So I've got my back up a little bit, and he's letting me know, no, this is the system. So I've gone, all right then. So explain to me, and he's explained to me. He's explained that he's willing to stay down there. My ancestors are giving me the green light. So I said, no problem. But the reason why I have the attitude is because I'm scared, really. You get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm getting in a car with a complete stranger. I'm about to drive 5 hours into the middle of nowhere. So on an earthly level, I'm kind of rackling a little bit too. You know what I mean? Because this is like not my first excursion, but I've just run away from a sticky situation because I was booked in on an ayahuasca retreat in Africa, and I had to jump ship four days into the retreat because of the shit that was going on there. You know what I mean? So I've already escaped one hotel retreat, jumped to another retreat in Accra, had to move from the hotel, the airport residential suite, literally drag my suitcase out of there and drag it down the road. There's not even a proper road, you know. I'm on the side of the road with the cars going past me in Africa, rolling a suitcase down the fucking road, looking for a hotel that Spirit's sending me to because they've told me to come out of this one. And there's taxis outside, and the taxis are like, do you want a taxi? Do you want a taxi? And my ancestors are like, no, you're walking. Don't make none of them know where you're going, because they're all Mr. Smith. They're all little men in blacks. We're walking. No, but they're not going to know where we are. So then when we get to the hotel now, when it comes to the night time or the next morning, we see that, okay, they've clocked onto where we are, because there's different Mr. Smiths in the building. This is the building, the hotel that I'm in. What's the hotel called again? It's a nice hotel, like the Great Western. What is it? Is it the Great Western Hotel? Yeah, they're nice hotels around the world. So I'm in one of them, you know. But the other one was really nice too, because it was the airport resort one, residential. You know, so the ancestors, when they plan it well, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, sometimes it can be a shubim, but sometimes it's a really nice place, you know, but they already know what's going on, so I just have to listen. So I've dragged my bag down there. Next day, my man's come, we've sorted it out in the taxi, and we've drove down to Volta 5 hours. My ancestors tell me to tell him to take me to the first hotel, because they want to pull up the car, and they want to surveil the area, yeah? So in order to do that, and to surveil my man, make sure nobody hasn't followed us for these 5 hours down there, because they're telling me why, bits of the why too, as they're doing what they're doing. So they're telling me to get up and go to the toilet, because this building that we've pulled up at is significant. And I know that because of the demon mason that was sitting at the front desk. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Telling me that I need to buy a drink first before I can use this toilet. And my ancestor said, no problem, buy 2 and leave a tip. Do you get what I'm saying? It was almost like paying the piper. It was like a gatekeeper. He was the gatekeeper of the energy of that area. The building that is running is right on the seafront. Yeah? And it was like my ancestors were walking through me, guiding me of who it is down there that I needed to like almost introduce myself to. But not as a, hello, my name is Asherah. No, by buying 2 drinks and leaving a tip. Do you understand me? To make him, because he's feeling me energetically and I'm feeling him energetically. So I'm getting my downloads about who he is, but I can feel it in my energy too. I don't know what the whole picture is, but I know there's something. But I still act like the human. Oh, thank you. No problems. Now keep the change. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But at the same time, I'm getting all these downloads. And I can see he's getting downloads because I can see the way that he's looking at me. You know what I mean? And I can see what he's thinking, and I can hear what he's thinking because I got telepathic communication skills too, innit? I've used the toilet, come out, sat down in the place, drank the drink. A fly's come over to me. The fly said something to me. I poured out a little drink for the fly. The taxi driver's noticed. Remember, he don't know me yet. But on the way down, I've explained to him that sometimes I'm on fire. Like sometimes I'm different. You know what I mean? And I've said to him, as long as you're okay with that, we'll be okay. And he said, listen, as long as what you've said is what it is, that's fine with me. And I said, well, that's cool then. He said, don't forget this is Africa, you know, and Africa is very spiritual. So we know certain things already. So you just do you. So he made me know that it was cool, but I made him know what it was, so that if my ancestors started to go on with anything, at least I've given the pre-warning a little bit, you know, to let him know that differently things can get a bit, because I can be very, 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 very weird, but it's not me. It's it's spirit, ancestors, higher self, and it can look a little bit weird. It can present itself as very, very, very weird, and I'm conscious of that. You know what I mean? So I will kind of explain myself if I feel like I need to. And because I'm going to be in my man's car for 5 hours, I thought it would be necessary, because the last thing I want to do is get chucked out on the roadside in the middle of nowhere. That wouldn't be very nice, would it? But the reason why I'm telling you that the ancestors had selected this man, because by the time I come to know who this man is, by the time we got to Volta, this man is from Volta. I've chosen a taxi driver that actually comes from the area where my ancestors are telling me to go. Number one. What are the odds? Number two. Not only is he from Volta, his mom, the woman who he calls mom, is the queen mother of Volta. Number two. Not only is his mom the mother of Volta, he is next of line to become the chief of Volta. The same blood clot taxi driver. 3. So when my ancestors pick a driver, they're not just picking a driver. A driver don't just come pick up me. A person don't just wander into my life. Never. There's always something karmically, akashically, divinely orchestrated. That's real talk. Samuel his name is. We spent 5 days down in Volta. And some serious shit went down. I met his mum. He took me to the Queen Mother's yard. I met her. She took me to the chief's yard. I met him. I met the other cousin that's in line to be chief too. It's out of the two of them. I met voodoo men. High priest. Well in it. I'm talking when we parked up, the amount of people that was queuing up to chat to my man, to get their voodoo work done. Do you know what I'm saying? I got schooled and walked through the whole process of their ancestors, which is a mix of voodoo, and it's a mix of what you would call traditional ancient religions with, for example, the Orishas. And because I already know these things, because I've had downloads from my ancestors, I know half of these deities. So I'm not in there woo-woo-wooing and scary, because how can I be scared of something that looks like voodoo when my ancestors have already taught me this? I already understand this. How can I be scared of something that I already understand? My Samuel comes from Africa and he hasn't got a fucking clue of what's going on, but this is complete sense to me. And not only that, I'm having downloads and I'm having ascension experiences while I'm on this land with this voodoo man. He's no more older than me too, you know, he's a young one. All of them was what I met. None of the elders came out, which was really weird, to be fair. But anyway, none of the elders came out, just the young ones that are really in training, and I'm not in training. So the energy was just, it was, to me, it was noticeable. It was noticeable because they could feel my energy and I could feel their energy. I could feel that their energy was scared of me. And it was making me feel weird because they're the voodoo men. It was making me feel weird because you guys are the high priest, you guys are the old beer men, you guys are the voodoo men, but why are you moving like you're scared of me? That's weird. You know. But that's what I've seen in Africa. That's what I've seen in Jamaica. That's what I've seen in Bali. That's what I've seen in Peru. I didn't go to Istanbul and meet no spiritual people, but in all those other countries, and I went to Ghana twice and seen it. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen these people move like they're scared of me. I'm supposed to be on a shaman course. I'm not even on the course no more because the tutor's on about what did she say? I'm dangerous. What? I ain't done her nothing. But that's the message that just keeps coming through, man. Differently. It's a mad thing out here. But like I said, I've been to these places on random ones, trust me. You know what I mean? On really random ones. I drove around most of Ghana. I'm talking 6, 7, 8 hour drives at a time from one community to another community. And not like a community, but that's how they call like their wards, like communities. But really, these aren't even communities, is what I was trying to say. They're more like regions. You know what I mean? From one region to another. Hours and hours away from each other, looking at the beauty of Africa, looking at the poverty, but the richness of Africa. You can't tell me that Africa's poor. You're mad. Seen it with my own eyes now. Can't even afford Africa. I said to the woman at the house in the state to send me some details about one apartment that I had my eye on. She sent me, and I was like, no, I'm not asking for it in African Ghanaian dollars. I want it in UK or US. And she said, that is US. I said, how can it be $260,000 for a flat, a 2-bedroom flat in Accra? Make that make sense? This is Africa, innit? I was like, when she started to wrap up and send through house prices, I was like, oh my God. I come here with a bit of money in my bank thinking I was going to buy a yard in Africa. No way! Nah, I was like, okay. I had to go back to the drawing board, man. I'm not going to lie. I brought a program over to Africa because I was going to share something in education, and Africa showed me that, yo, they're leaps and bounds in front, man. But you know what? It's such a joy and it's such a good feeling to know that Africa is going like that. It really is, man. Africa is not what you think. Africa is not what we've been led to believe at all. None at all. Like I said, they're using tap down in Volta, 5 hours away from cities, not civilization, but city center, if you like, the town. But they're nice down there, but you can get anything on the roadside. Phone, chip, umbrella, shoes, clothes, literally. And when I say I went to a market in St. James, and I'm telling you now, the market stretched all the way down that road, one long road. All the way up that road, one long road. And then down every single road coming off this road. And all you can see is brollies. I got pictures. Consumerism. Crazy. I've never seen it on that level, on that quantity. England is a tiny blip in comparison. A tiny blip. Insignificant blip. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that the Western culture dominates. It's a complete fucking illusion. There's more black people on Accra fucking beach than there is white people in the UK. And even though they give us these numbers, I'm not even sure these numbers are true. Because the amount of black people that I've seen, and I've been Jamaica bare times, so it's not like I'm not accustomed to seeing black people. But I've never seen black people on the scale that Africa actually has black people. Africa is filled with people. It's brimmed out with people. And even when you're driving through the bushes of Africa, there's people. You're not driving for 5 minutes and not seeing a person. Even when you're driving 6 hours through the bushes, you're still seeing people. There's people, man. The white people have to be outnumbered, probably 3, 4, 5, if not 6 to 1, probably 10 to 1 to be fair. You'll never know because they won't tell you the numbers. As if they could count everybody in Africa anyway. Some people are just off the grid. So you can't even rely on the numbers. But from what I saw, the numbers don't make sense anyway. It's a complete illusion, man. And there is money there. But obviously it's the same thing, because while I was out there, I went to so many different slavery forts. And I've never been about slavery, because my ancestors have always been like, fuck that, you're an Egyptian. Like, I've always known that I'm an Egyptian. You know what I mean? I've always had downloads about being in Egypt and being an Egyptian. But I just even though I felt that way, I just thought I felt that way. I thought it was more past life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in my past life energy, and that's fine. But you see, 2024, 25, I sent off for my DNA. And my DNA came back and showed and said, I've got Egyptian DNA. And I was like, not the fact that I knew it, because it's not about knowing it. It's the fact that it's so strong for me. I used to think if it's just about past life. You know what I mean? Is it just about past life because of how significant it is to me? Like, even in my meditations and just seeing different Egyptian faces just changing, shape-shifting in the windows. And like, these are things that have happened to me. And I'm like, who are these people? Do you know what I mean? Seeing myself overlooking certain things like the River Nile and being surrounded around gold and all these curtains flowing in the like literally. But when my DNA came back and said Egyptian, I was like, all right then, that makes sense. That makes sense. Absolutely. And I'm thinking, how have I held on to Egyptian blood in my blood? Because my mum's dad is mixed race. Yeah. Scottish and Jamaican. And my mum's mum is black and Indian, I believe. Her dad was from Pune. And then you've got my dad's mum, who's quarter caste, I believe. So one parent mixed race, one parent black. And then his dad, he's mainly black, but he has some Indian in him too. So I was expecting something with Asian DNA, something with English DNA, Jamaican, African, fair enough. Obviously, because I always felt like an African. Well, not always. Since these ascensions have happened, I've been dancing with African ancestors. And a lot of African stuff was coming through to me, which is why they were sending me to Africa anyway. And I always knew that this had something symbolic, this coral shell. Because an Obeah man did a coral necklace for me back in 2017. Was it 2017? Around 2017, he done a necklace, a coral necklace. And I knew coral was for me, but my ancestor said don't deal with the coral necklace from him, because when I put it on, I could feel the energy strangling me. The necklace was strangling me, and that was the second necklace in my lifetime that I'd put on, and it strangled me. The first one was from my first children's father, who I went to school with. So she's my white mom. When I say I've got a white mom, that's who I'm talking about. So my white mom, she gave me a necklace, an amethyst necklace, and it was strangling me, and I had to say, Mom, I can't take the necklace, because the necklace is just strangling off my throat. Because she's a witch and she's spiritual. So me and her, we've always talked and connected on that level anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I says to her, energetically, it's trying to fucking kill me. So she took it back and she said she put it on and the same thing happened to her. So she ended up giving it to one of the sister-in-laws, the other one. I won't say which one. And she never complained about it. So I'm sure it was probably okay for her. But it definitely was not okay for me. And that coral necklace wasn't okay for me. But I knew there was something in it. So as time went by and I started to get more of these downloads from Africa, they're telling me that because these particular corals are worn by Nigerians, yeah, the Yoruba, the Yoruba kind of people, and it always would come to me. So anyway, when I got my DNA, basically that's why, because in my DNA, 78% of it is Nigerian, basically. But what I'm saying is that these things were coming out before I knew that, before I seen that in test results. I knew that anyway, is what I'm saying, through the downloads, through different bits and pieces. And also, I've had bare crystals and I've wore bare things around my neck and everything else like that. And in 2023, Spirit was like, you can't wear nothing other than diamonds, gold, or pearls. You know what I mean? And pearls are water, from the water, basically, like water stones, but so is coal. So I wasn't sure if they were going to allow this to maintain itself on me. But so far, for a year now, well, nearly a year, it's there and it hasn't burst, whereas everything else is burst. You know what I mean? These are diamonds. And I even had the matching earrings and I've got the matching ring because Spirit was like, yeah. And this is my second set. My first set was really small because I only had little money. And then this set was a little bit bigger because I only had little bigger money. And the next one will be a bit bigger because I have a little bigger money. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. But yeah, nothing else. I can't buy nothing else, man. It's a motherfucker. But it's all good. But that's how specific, almost pedantic that Spirit are. And that's how much the instructions are like, drink coffee. But I don't drink coffee. Drink coffee. So now I'm drinking coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't drink coffee for 40 odd years. And now I'm going to start drinking coffee. Yeah, because Spirit said, yeah, no problem then. I drink the latte one with the milk and everything. It's not too bad now. Especially if I get vanilla in there or caramel. I'm all right with it. But it took a minute. I don't know why I have to drink coffee. I just know that I'm drinking coffee. Later on down the line, I'll come to understand why I'm drinking coffee. Something about grounding, something about balance, something about something, you know? But I don't really worry about the why too much. And it's so funny because, you know, in business, they say it's all about your why. But in spirituality, it's not about your why. It's not about your why. It's not about your how. It's definitely not about your when. It's not about your what. It's like I'm hearing it's about your where, but even then I'm thinking, well, why would it be about your where when your where could be anywhere? But it's about, but where is you anywhere? And maybe that links to the video yesterday when I was talking about the time being in the present. Where are you? Are you in the present, the past, or the future? So maybe it is about aware, or at least an awareness. Feeling it? But yeah, this video quick.
They are in spirit. They are in the energy. They're in the atoms of the universe. People feel, they don't know what you are, but they know that when you voice something, when you speak something out loud, it is important because either it's happening in the moment or it's going to happen. So people feel like you have some sort of premonition skills that they've never seen. They also feel like you might be the world's hero. You might be part of the population that is considered like the world's hero or saviors because you have the knowledge and wisdom to free humanity from the things that have kept them stuck and in prison. This isn't even for hundreds of years. We're talking thousands.
I was talking about this shit yesterday, you know, about the fucking, I just have this innate feeling that I'm here to save humanity. And I've been tugging and warring between that coming across and feeling very, very narcissistic, but that actually generally being how I feel internally, as in a mothering kind of way, that I need to protect humanity, you know? As opposed to wanting to be some superhero. I don't want to be a superhero. Absolutely not, blood. I'm a superhero. But I'm not about being a superhero. You know what I'm saying? It's not about doing it for the likes and it's not about doing it for the love. I do it because it is what it is, isn't it? It's an instruction. I do what the Almighty tells me to do.
These creatures have been gene splicing and creating hybrids with humans. There's also something connected with the Anunnakis where there's some sort of conflict of interest connected.
So your Anunnaki is your Dr. Malachi York that I was talking about earlier.
To you. And I also feel like you're easily abused by people, by the industry. The industry is also keeping an eye on you. They may be even stealing ideas from you and putting them out into the population and distorting it. This is like it's like tapping into your mind and siphoning the ideas from it. It's very weird. Like, I don't even know how to make sense of this message. And I feel like the industry wants to assign a handler to you. They want you to meet somebody that you can't fight off, someone that you'll be so drawn to that you will eventually. This is like a Kirk situation. I don't know. They want to give you a handler who can basically help siphon all the information that you know to create a new world. People feel like you're the key. The system itself feels like you're the key into getting into other dimensions. They've only been able to go so far with quantum teleportation, with CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. That machine can only do so much. But they feel like you have the knowledge or wisdom, or you're part of. It's like they feel like your flesh is the key, your body is the key, your essence is the key. And I don't know how to make sense of it, but they've been watching you for some time. They've been watching everybody. They surveillance everyone. But there's something extra special about you where you're actually giving back to the people. You're shifting paradigms. You're destroying regimes that have been in place for hundreds of years. Certain topics that you speak about, all of a sudden, months later, those systems are being dismantled. They also feel like you're carrying the world on your back without even knowing it. That's how people see you. That's how the system sees you.
You know what, I could cry, because that's some real fucking shit, mate. I'm a stand, like, I'm listening to this the same time you guys are listening to this, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm having an internal reaction to what she's saying. So that makes me recognize that I know it's a truth anyway, but it's a confirmation on what I already know. So right about now, there's energy moving around me, and I got invited to do a presentation this week, and I did it. And there's about 3 men that are interested in my proposal. And those 3 men are also bringing in other people that are interested in my proposal. So it's a sticky situation, isn't it? Because I already know there's people coming in to play games, and there's people coming in for truth. But my ancestral family last year had a celebration party for me. And when I arrived in the celestial realm and they opened the doors, there was this long table and everybody just started clapping. And I just started crying. And I was crying on my bed in the 3D, and I was crying up there in the 5D. So this is not the 4th astral world. This is the celestial world. And the celestial world had put on a party for me. So I've opened up the door and I've seen them all, and I've started crying because I love the ancestors, man. You don't understand. Like, there's levels to love, man. Trust me. Unconditional love. When they say unconditional love on an earthly level, is not the same as spiritual unconditional love. Spiritual unconditional love, the vibration, the energy that runs through my body, literally makes me feel like I'm about to take flight. It makes me feel like I'm about to levitate off the ground. It's a different energy. And that's the energy that I'm in when I'm in the celestial realm. And my celestial family are clapping for me and celebrating because I've overcome something big in it. I mean, every day is something, but there's times when it is just a mad one. And I've overcome something, and they're celebrating. And I'm giving them all the glory. And they're telepathically talking to me to stop me from not necessarily saying that it's all because of them, because it is all because of them as far as I'm concerned. But they're trying to recognize that it's all because of me, because as much as it's all because of them, it wouldn't be happening if I wasn't prepared to take the steps in the physical, if I wasn't prepared to surrender. So they acknowledge all of that, and they just wanted me to just sit down and be in that space of acknowledging that. And obviously by acknowledging that and feeling all their love and their energy, I'm just overwhelmed with love and that. And then they're talking to me that because I've done what I've done, they now have access to incarnate down on earth. And they don't have to incarnate down on earth as children. They can incarnate into, like, they can Mr. Smith bodies too. It works both ways, motherfucker. If a demon can jump in a body astral projectily, then an angel can, any, or an ancestor can. My granddad, my nan, they're in a different dimension, but they can transform and download themselves into this dimension and download into a man in the court system to make sure that the document gets filed correctly and the demon don't get to hide it, like what's been going on. You know what I mean? Like my ancestors can come down in the 3D now and get to work. So that's why there's a Cellar Blood Collaboration party going on, because it's significant shit. Yeah. So they're making me know that everybody around this table, and this table's long, is getting ready to transform and transcend to come down here to help me out in the physical flesh. Because, you know, sometimes it be feeling like it's me one and Jarastafari to Bumbleclap. And I know say not in the gossip, but that's just how it feels sometimes. But they're making me know now we're transcending down. So I was very, 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 very grateful. You know, so when it's talk about carrying the world on my back, trust me. It feels like that, and not in a way like, oh my god, no, it feels like I'm carrying the world on my back, that I've got to protect everybody, and that I'm this blood clot weapon, and if my head really does take me, I'm gonna blow it off. I mash up everybody and everything. That's what's scary. What's scary is that there is a feeling in me that I hold like an inner atom bomb. You know, an inner something. You know what I mean? I hold chaos, next level chaos, and I've had to control this chaos magic. Because if I don't, it will blow up. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that the world will be over. It just means I failed the mission. And I don't want that to be the case. So I've had to learn how to alchemize my body to be able to hold on to these big pieces of energy coming in. It's like the Marvel heroes film when what's his name, Iron Man, holds that thing because Hulk can't manage it. So Iron Man takes it and he kills him in the end, but he has to hold on to and absorb that energy. And it's like it's like being that person to hold that energy, but instead of dying, you learn how to hold it, you learn how to manifest it. And it's on them levels that's that big energy that I'm talking about, that it's not a human level energy. Like it would kill a normal human. It would kill a human. So you have to learn how to transfer your body from being human into what it actually is, a spiritual vessel that can hold energy. It's like I transitioned and I watched myself go through the Scarlet Witch. For months, I was the Scarlet Witch, going through the energy, manifesting chaos. I was thinking, who the fuck is this Scarlet Witch? I didn't even know who she was. I'm manifesting energy and they're talking to me about Scarlet Witch, they're talking to me about chaos magic. And everything I can see on the chaos magic, I'm seeing these symbols. I've been writing them in my book since from school. Do you know what I mean? These chaos magic symbols and these symbols linked to it. I've been, doodling in my book, writing out these things. Chaos. So I'm just like, hang on a minute. Remember I said it's like little breadcrumbs along the way, and then a breadcrumb makes a bit breadcrumb. Before you know it, you got a bap. You know what I mean? Before you know it, you got a whole bap. Yeah, it's like that. Let's play the rest.
As somebody who's carrying an impossible load that you can't even understand. So it seems like I don't know. Some people want to take you out because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you can do. They're afraid of the fact that you can change everything about the entire planet. And they're also
okay. That's what I believe. That's what I believe wholeheartedly. That's the shit that will get you in the madhouse. I'm going to wind it back. Literally, listen to what she said.
That's how people see you. That's how the system sees you, as somebody who is carrying an impossible load that you can't even understand. So it seems like I don't know. I don't know. Some people want to take you out because they're afraid of you. They're afraid of what you can do. They're afraid of the fact that you can change everything about the entire planet. And they're also afraid of your children, of your descendants. Okay.
She fucking freaking me out. I told you already I'm vibing inside. Okay, so listen to this, because I don't talk shit anyway, but I've already done over 200 videos. So I say what I say because I say what I said. Yeah, and what's been said has been said. So I don't need to jump on the bandwagon. My girl's only done this a day ago. But she's chatting shit that I know to be the case. And I know this girl, you know. I'm sure I used to watch her back in the day, but I'm sure she had a different picture. But anyway, I'm talking about the tone of her voice is resonating with me. But also what she's saying is hitting me on an internal level. So I know that divinely it's something I'm meant to hear. But I know that anyway. I went to Peru this year with my shamanic teacher, and I thought my shamanic teacher knew what time it was because I've been talking to her about this shit for months. I signed up on the course from June, July, but I've been speaking to her for 8 years prior. So how's she acting like this is the first time she's seeing me? Make it make sense. No, you was planning to come to Peru to carry on with your bullshit, and I knew it anyway, but I'm still going to jump on the plane and come to Peru. If my ancestors say that's what's popping, regardless of your intentions, because I don't need to worry about their intentions. So anyway, they had some fucked up intentions in Peru to do me something, and it never worked out the way they thought it was going to. So obviously they were really scared of me. So I've got video recordings on my phone of me in Peru with these people saying that they're scared of me. They're scared of me, and I haven't even said boo to a goose. I ain't argued with no one. I haven't done anything. It's all spiritual. And my ancestors came in, blood. They did. And I let them. And when I say came in, I don't know what my ancestors were doing with these people, but I know what my ancestors were doing with me. And they brought me through a ritual, like to say I was getting ready for my divine masculine. And that's really what I was interested in. But at the same time, through the window, I was watching certain entities out there eat up certain people in the building as they left the building. And I'm seeing my ancestors eat them. I'm seeing these entities eat them. And from these entities are eating them, these can't be good people, but I know they're not good people anyway, because in the room, I can see them transforming and shape-shifting into different entities. Anyway, don't get me wrong, I'm on ayahuasca. I'm on 60 mils of ayahuasca, which is double, triple the amount of ayahuasca everybody else is on. My shamanic tutor is chucking her guts out, and she's had 25 grams, 25 whatever milliliters of ayahuasca. I've had 3 times that amount. Well, I've had 60, but really it weren't 60, it was 75 because he poured up the cup up to 20. But I said already, it doesn't matter anyway. As my ancestors said, it wouldn't matter how much ayahuasca you had. Ayahuasca's not gonna do for you what it does for them, because you are ayahuasca. You already carry the gene, so it's a different thing. And I reach greater heights when I'm in my room. It's like the ayahuasca medicine. It wasn't that it was suppressing me. I just expected more from it. So much more. I get higher and higher. I get higher when I'm in my room like this, chilling, watching YouTube, and just usually it's a Heineken, but I thought I'd pick up something different today. I got 2 Heinekens over there though. But yeah, but it weren't that. These people are fake. That's why. Even the people in Africa. The people in Bali, the people in Jamaica. And when I say they're fake, meaning that they use all these Masonic books and these scrolls that they've stolen from us as Egyptians, because I am an Egyptian. I'm an Egyptian by spirit and I'm an Egyptian by blood. Yeah, it is what it is. And they've stole this information, but they thought that they could just steal the information and bury it under the Vatican, bury it wherever they think they can fucking bury it. But it doesn't matter. Because the information is already embedded in our Akashic records. I've got all the information. It's like, say, I know, and I'm being taught about the Freemasonry. I'm learning the rituals. I'm going through the rituals. I'm being put through the rituals in my house. My kids are being put through the rituals. None of us know what the fuck is going on, but there's shit going on. I seen my kids turn into fucking avatars. I seen me turn into I was on a talk show. I contemplate to the future, and I'm on a talk show. I step onto the table, I levitate off the table because I've kind of levitated in front of the crowd. It's triggered the crowd, and it's also triggered the ascension of certain members in the crowd. And certain members in the crowd, their whole body has turned into like a gold, metal, aluminium material. And fucking wings have come out and sprouted out their fucking backs. I'm talking like there's people in the audience being decapitated. And this is what I'm seeing. Like I'm there in a reality, like I'm on the. I can see the people that stand in the black outfits behind the camera and the lights are shining on you as you're sitting on a chair. Like I'm in a studio, seeing this shit, and I'm thinking, could this be? Because I've seen it, I know it's real. But can you see why I'm asking? Could this be real though? You get what I'm saying? But just like the pastor and the fucking guy I said on the last video, we're fucking, and that's how the download comes in. That you see something ridiculous and then later on you find out it's fucking true. Because it really is some fucked up premonition shit. But if I seen it in the 5D, then it's more time coming in the 3D, if that makes sense. It just takes a while for it to come into the 3D. But oh baby, believe me, it's coming. Could take 20 years sometimes. It can take 20 years for me to see a vision in the 5D and then see that vision manifest in the 3D. But it doesn't matter how long it takes. I know it's coming. So therefore, I don't need to worry about the day that I see it with my 3D eyes. I just need to know that I seen it with my 3D eye. Because right about now, if I seen it with my 3D eye, I saw it go. And worse now that I just see the 5D through my through my 2 eyes, my 3D eyes. The one of the same. It don't matter if my eyes are shut or if my eyes are open. I'm seeing some fuckery shit that I'm having to ask twice if this is real.
This is just how powerful you are. Once you connect with somebody else's DNA, it's going to create an even stronger version of you. So those of you that have children, your children have abilities and they can do weird things that even you can't do, that you have noticed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is true. And I know what those gifts are. And in 2024, before I got locked up in a madhouse, I'm telling you now. Then for example, my son, my third son, he speaks in a language. He's part of like a frog kingdom. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I saw it. And then when I saw it, and it's like I was speaking to him telepathically. Like I can speak to him through his mind. I can speak to all my kids, but him particular. And I'm talking to him telepathically. And then he's just spitting. And he's talking to me through his mind. But when he's using his mouth, he's just spitting. He's spitting, And he's spitting in my house. And the physical me wants to say, "Oi, stop spitting on my carpet." Do you know what I mean? And the spiritual me is like, no, he's talking. He's communicating. That spitting is talking. Leave him to talk, for fuck's sake. Do you understand me? So as he's spitting, he's talking to me and I'm talking to him telepathically. And I'm talking like going upstairs and downstairs and in the kitchen, I'm not talking like we're here having a one conversation. I'm talking, that's the thing. And he's spitting and he's spitting. Or he's taking his vest and he's wiping his mouth and his vest is bloody wet. And I'm like, get some tissue. Hi, princess, you okay? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, the conversations I'm having with these fucking kids, man. I'm gonna tell you, my son, that same son, sitting down, and I come to him, and the spirit says to me, "Yo, talk to him because we need him to build us, some space in the clouds, so we can download some information to it." And I'm like, "What clouds? You mean like the cloud, like the phone cloud?" They're like, "No, the cloud. The cloud holds information. That's why they've named the internet cloud, because that's the reason. That's the purpose of the fucking clouds, to store information." Tell Ty you need him to build something to make a link, basically, in that my kid's reality realm is the gaming realm. So you see how this is a reality, the 3D, and then I'm saying that in my dream world I run that reality. My children's reality is the gaming world. When they go into that reality, they like it in that reality. They live in that reality more time. And I thought these kids just love playing PlayStation. It was only till when I really ascended in 2024, they're fighting different wars in them realities that are linked to my wars, in the 3D reality and the dream reality and the mental reality. Like, don't get it. When they come, it's like I go in their room, Spirit will tell me to go in there. I know I hadn't finished the other conversation, but whatever. Spirit will tell me to go in their room, and I'll go in the room and I'll get downloads about the game that they're playing. And the game that they're playing is linked to the game that I'm going through of something that's happening in the 3D of my life, or maybe the 5D, or maybe the 4D. And I'm saying, but differently, rare. And they're like, yeah, Mum, how do you know? I said, but did you do the finger thingy and get the key from it? And it was like, yeah. I said, but do you understand? And they're like, no, Mum, you get it wrong though, because it shouldn't be that key, it's that key. And I'm like, that's where I went wrong, so I can fix something back in the 3D. It's all fucking linked, man. Real talk. Real fucking talk. Even with, alright, like I said, they're all like different genres. They're like the same things, as in like mangas, Naruto's, or animes and stuff like that. Fair enough. But they've all got their own little gaming style too, even though they will play games with each other and they like the games that each other play because they're very similar in that respect. It feels like I'm going through the same parenting experience with my third son as I did with my older sons, because my older sons are in their 20s. And my younger son is only 12, but I feel like I'm repeating my parenting experience because of the similarities. And in my youngest daughter, you know. But the point is that that's their reality worlds, and I'm connected in those realities too. And they're fighting wars in those realities, as I said, that are connected. And you see, when I got the downloads of how many hours, you have to understand, like, most kids are online. You know what I mean? And I've got 3 kings in my house that are online, warring day and night, in realms that seem like they are artificial, but actually they are dimensional. Yeah, they are dimensional. The gaming world. It's like, say, they took electricity and wired it through wires and told you that they're giving you a service, when actually the electricity is free. The electricity is coming out of the ground naturally. And actually, if we all had our own piece of zinc and copper wire, we could generate our own electricity, because the reality is you are actually the electricity. When my ancestors made me know that I'm an electrical and a magnetic being, like electric and magnet runs through me. And like these things, like I said, I didn't know none of this stuff. They download it to me, and then when they download it to me, I then start to research it, and then I come to understand, yeah, we're electromagnetic beings, and our skin is neurodynamic, you know what I mean? Like, it has the ability to heal itself and mend itself. Like, cells go to work like worker bees, mending the body all day long, putting it, but it's got its own communication system. And then I tap into that communication system and have conversations with my cells. You know, like, it's there's levels, man. There's levels. Like I said, there's levels.
They're not only afraid of you, they're afraid of your children, of your descendants. They also feel like you've been martyred by humanity in some way, or that you do all of the unseen work that people can't see. That you're a prayer warrior, or you're
That's true. Prayer warrior and my affirmations. There's times, you know, one time, not one time, but usually when I'm in my room, I'm doing a lot of energy work, but not just in the planet, in the galaxy, solar system, underwater, whatever, dimensionally, because I move energy around a lot, because there's a lot of stagnant energy. But also, I just like to throw out big waves of energy sometimes. Anyway, I remember the first time when I did it, and I was in some beef with my ex, the person I was married to. I planned the whole day with the kids. We were doing karaoke or whatever, and he just come and spoiled it all. You know what I mean? And we didn't get to finish it. And I even had like prize money, and I had everybody's bank account where I was just transferring little bits of money to the kids. Like, we was having a fun time, whatever, and it never worked out that way. And I remember singing in the living room, Beyonce, Dangerously in Love. And it's a message that I literally have running through my body, you know what I mean, or down my body. And I ended up singing that, and while I was singing that, this energy movement in my body was going on so nuts. I remember needing to leave the house, and when I left the house, I got in the car and I started to drive down the road. And as I got up to the hill, and then you go over the hill to go down, I could see the whole of the city centre lights from where I was. You know, like the whole skyline of the town centre. And I'm in Birmingham, which is the second biggest city in England, so it's not like a small kind of horizon. It's a big horizon still. And as I went over the hill, I remember kind of like, imagine there was an inside scream, you know, because you're so frustrated about the bullshit. You plan something really nice with the kids, and then you end up kind of getting into it, and it kind of spoils things. And really, it never needed to be that way. You know what I mean? So I was frustrated. I was on my way to my cousin's house, my cousin Danny's house, to go and chill at his for a bit. And I just remember like going over and like doing an inner scream, you know, like how you would go. And I remember doing that, and I remember feeling like an energetic wobble, and I knew that I'd done something. I didn't know what I had done. I just knew that something had happened. I had screamed into myself, and with all this energy of a scream, something had wobbled, like a matrix wobble. You know what I mean? But again, I just thought it was in my head. Yeah? So anyway, I got to my cousin's, blah, 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 chatted with him for a little bit, ate a bit of food, because he's a Jew, and he's not just a Jew, he's a rabbi. But again, masonry, innit? If you know, you know. And I went upstairs and I went to bed. And then in the morning, fuck nigga 1, so not fuck nigga 2, with all the patterns on his body. Fuck nigga 1, who's like a Obia man. Or he's from Haiti, so he dibbles and he dabbles. He dabbles a lot. So he was teaching me, because this is what the ancestors wanted me to know. So he came in with the whole Orishas and stuff like that, and was making me know what was going on. And he called me in the morning early. What did you do? What did you do? I said, what do you mean? What did I do? He said, last night, what did you do? You changed the energy. What did you do? I know it was you. What did you do? And I said, no way. You felt that? He said, yeah. What did you do? I said, I don't know. I just know that like I got frustrated and I was driving home and I just screamed and something happened, but I don't know what it was. But I felt something happen. He's like, yo, do you know what you did? It's like you fucking reverse time a little bit or something. But again, all in my head, all in his head. Do you get what I'm trying to? It's all in our head, innit? Because you'd have to be mad to believe that was true.
Warrior, or you believe in yourself. Some of them even feel like this cost you your life in the past life, but they know that you're very prone to abuse, not just by people, but by the system, because on a subconscious level, people can tell that you're a big deal. They may not know how, why, or the ins and outs, but they know that you carry something that nobody else has. Like I said, some of them even feel like you're a time traveler or you're from another constellation or star system, because things around you do not make sense. The way that you operate is not like every other human being. It's completely different. People want to learn from you. They want to learn everything that you know. They're like, okay, you can get your life to change like this. Teach me how to do that. So most people want to attach themselves to you for your intellectual properties, because
it's all about intellectual property. And that's what I'm saying, what I was saying earlier, that I've been presented to these guys. And I have to be careful of how I maneuver it, because I have to protect my intellectual property. And I also have to protect my intellectual property in this 3D realm, which is what a lot of this is going on. Even today, anyway, it don't matter. But a lot of my work is around that, because I've published a lot of things, I've written a lot of things, I've created a lot of things. I have a lot folders and folders and hard drives and hard drives and hard drives of intellectual property, because Spirit would just write. Spirit would just write and write and write and write and write. It's like a Hamilton. Why are you writing? Like you're running out of time. Like you're running out. Swear down. Writing, 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 writing. Paper, 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 paper. Even in my room now, paper, 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 paper. But the guy was like, it's about how to, whatever. So anyway, that's kind of what these business things were about today. I mean, from Wednesday running through to Friday. So I've still been kind of messaging, setting up in meetings for next week and whatever. But I know I've got to be careful. You know what I mean? Because what I've got is precious, and what I've been building in the background is precious. But I've been building several things. And if I'm honest, you see how I've got like 5 personalities, but really there's 6. But I haven't come into my 6th one yet. I've come into my 5th one, which is what I've been blogging about from 2022. But it's like 2025. I learned that there's a 6th one, but a cube has 6 sides. Yeah, a cube has 6 sides, and I'm a cube. I'm like Metatron square. That's why I've got the Metatron square tattooed on my back. get what I'm saying? Because I recognize Wagwan. So as a square with my six faces, I'm coming into a new face. Yeah, but it's a hidden face. It's a face that I don't know. So I can't talk to you about what I don't know. So I'm actually going through the experiences of this six personality. So I'm getting to know the personality on the go, basically, which is why being in an observer position is so important. Because I'll be telling you that I don't like something, and next thing you know, we're all like, I do, I do, I do. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, who the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Little things that I'm seeing, like I come home, my bedroom's messy, and I'm not a messy person, like I'm OCD, but there's a personality of me that's messy, and I'm learning that now. And I'm like, well, who's this bitch? Where has she been? Because she's been a hidden me, for example.
I feel like they can become rich from it, or it can lead them to wealth in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Be curious. Be curious.
So with these people coming in, I have to be careful, because there's certain people coming in from this celebration where they've been celebrating because my ancestors and the higher ups are now able to ascend down and literally Mr. Smith people and work on my behalf. And then you've got the flip side of that with regards to I'm jumping a timeline, sorry. Well gone. My daughter was playing Stormzy. We were dancing to this the other day on Wednesday. I came back buzzing from this event, you know. Tell my man, shut up. Tell my man, shut up. I was going back in the days of listening to all of those songs when we used to like a lot of London rap. What the fuck was I talking about? I literally like mind blank, blood. Mind blank. And I feel like I'm moving into a softer energy. So I'm going into rosy energy, which is my divine feminine. I can feel it. I'm noticing the fact that my legs crossed over in a feminine position. I can even feel the fabric of the softness of the silk on my skin. Like I weren't thinking about these things before. Alright, let's put her back on. Oh, she ended. Oh, okay.
Hi, you guys. Thank you guys for being here.
She's a really good one. She a pillar. You are a natural witch, and your power is starting to reveal itself. Again, like I said, it's only esoteric community that you're gonna hear this stuff from. But I think it's important that we acknowledge the esoteric community, because if you're gonna talk about mental health, we have to also be able to tap into communities that know about spiritual awareness. Because I made a point yesterday, and I said that imagine if the mental health service was run by monks, we'd be having a completely different experience. And I think it's one to be considered. I'm getting downloads coming in. I'm getting downloads about these partnerships. You know how I said about these meetings over the last this week. Yeah, and I'm gonna just allow them to kind of just rain down, but I'm not gonna talk about them on here. Because there's still certain energies watching. You know what I mean? And because they have less and less access to my mind, because we're like computers, innit? The computer was based off a human brain. Yeah? So just like a computer can be hacked, the human mind can be hacked. And it can be hacked through frequency waves like your 5D, 4G energies and all that shit. But it can also be hacked in a demonic way, where demonic forces are whispering in your ear on a 4D realm, and you think those are your thoughts, but really they're not. Just like when we talk about hearing voices. When we get thoughts in our head, that is hearing voices. You are hearing a voice talk in your head. Yeah? And this is what I'm trying to say. Like, there is thin lines between what we are actually experiencing as humans and what they've determined to be mental health. It becomes mental health if the voices are telling you to do something that harms somebody. But if the voices aren't telling you to harm anybody, then the voices are okay. They wouldn't lock you up if you was hearing voices that were telling you to give to charity. They'd say, that's great, fantastic, carry on, have a great day. But if your voices are telling you that they want you to go into a church and murder people, then they're going to say, we need to lock you up because you're a danger to yourself and possibly others. But that's the thin line between hearing voices. That's the thin line between certifying somebody as having mental health or not having mental health. And it's shit like that. That can't be what determines mental health and what doesn't determine mental health, because there are underlying factors within there. One, who is the voice behind the voice? Where is it coming from? Because if you're hearing voices, where is it coming from? It must be coming from somewhere, because we hear voices all day, every day. So what's new? Then everybody should be in a madhouse, because everybody hears voices. Whether it's your voice, whether it's your mum's voice, whether you're remembering what your friend said at work that day and that's their voice, you're still hearing voices. You're still hearing things. I'm just saying that we need to start looking at this a little bit more objectively. That's all I'm saying. So on that note, I'm just gonna call it a wrap, because I'm having certain things come in, and I wanna observe the energy and the thoughts and the nervous system and everything else at the same time, without also having to pay attention to, am I jumping timelines? Am I talking sense? You know what I mean? Like, it's fine, don't get me wrong, but it's not fine at the same time if I'm going to give 110% to really observing what these things are, because I really do want to understand the stepping stones to maneuver between these scenarios, because it's important. But at the same time, I don't need to worry about it, because as long as it's being downloaded, I've got the information anyway, you know. So it's one of them ones. But I'm going to get off anyway. See you in a bit.